Look, I've been thinking, and I do want Charlotte to be part of the church. Talking on stage, I enjoyed it way more than I realized in the moment. After having a couple days to think about it, I enjoyed being in front of all those people. I enjoyed the community of it, and thinking about Charlotte going to the same church that I did growing up in CCD, and I don't know, it's growing on me. So does that mean you're going to be part of the church? Does that mean you'll let Charlotte be around a little bit more and welcome your family into something that you were raised in? Been considering it way more than I was before, mainly because of Charlotte. I need to know that if I get involved more with the church, there's clear benefits for her, because that's what I'd be doing it for. If we're gonna put her on social media every now and then and let people feel like she's a miracle baby, it needs to benefit our lives. I think you already know the answer to that, Brian. If you were to join us, Charlotte would reap all the benefits that you did as a child, from Catholic school to CCD to everything in between. It'd be a great life for her. The community aspect, how the people are. So if she were to go to the Catholic school, which is associated with our church, it'd be free. We wouldn't have to pay for it. Everything would be free. You wouldn't have to worry about a single thing when it comes to her schooling or just all the benefits that come along with being a member of our church. You know that. Think about how you wouldn't have to worry until she goes to high school. How many parents wish they were in that situation? What about before she goes to official school, before pre-K? I'm gonna have to go back to work and stuff. I need childcare. Childcare would be covered. I know that you are iffy about daycare, but you know that our daycare here on campus is one of the best, and it's run by people that you know, people you grew up with. Okay, and obviously we spoke about the security aspect of things. I want to make sure she's safe. We all know what Charlotte's been through, we know what your family's been through, and I would do whatever it takes to ensure that you have the security that you want, whether it be a guard at your house, outside the door, assisting her on campus, sitting in the classroom. I don't care, I would make it happen. This all sounds good, but you have to admit, it all sounds a little too good to be true as well. And that's what I'm skeptical of. Brian, I would say the worst thing that I ever did to you was try to withhold information about your baby's mother. It was for selfish reasons. It was for my own personal image. And I'm sorry for that. But I need you to look back and ask yourself, what else have I done to ever hurt you? You're my nephew. She's my family. I just want the best for the both of you. I would never lead you astray or sell you something that's too good to be true. The only thing that I do worry about, as much as I like Miranda, I worry about her getting in the way. Well, I have zero idea why Miranda would have any issue with this when Charlotte's gonna have schooling paid for. She can go to CCD, all of these benefits. I can't see why she would have an issue with any of them. Well, free schooling, free daycare, none of it would matter if she moves. What do you mean? I heard. You know how everyone in this town talks and news travels fast. I heard that she was looking at open houses in other faraway areas. Very far away areas. So the open houses were out of town. I heard she went to open houses, I just didn't know they weren't in Serafina town. So you think she's maybe trying to move her away? Yeah, I don't know much more information than that, but given her grief in the situation and how much she probably has a disdain for this town at this point, I wouldn't put it past her to just up and leave with your daughter. And that's a concern of mine. You're a great dad. For her to just rip your daughter out of your arms and take her away. Am I wrong for thinking that's wrong? I don't think she would just do that without telling me. She lost a son. Murdered in her kitchen. How well do you know her after something like that? Does she even know herself anymore? Also, I bet you never thought she would have gotten back with her ex-husband. So she's done surprising things in the past. I like her. I would love her to run the church with you one day. But I just hope she doesn't do something based off of grief that ruins your life. Because I don't think you deserve that at this point. You're a great dad. I now know what it's like to be a grandmother who is no longer a grandmother. But I can't imagine what it's like to be a mother who, well, you know what I'm getting at. I'm sorry for what you went through. I appreciate the sympathy, but if I know you, I can feel that you have some resentment towards me about Junior's murder, even though I was at your daughter's wedding that night. I think resent is the wrong word here. I think that we all just harbor some irrational emotions regarding this situation. I blame everyone for the death of my grandson, and I'm sorry. You're in there too. It's just, I don't know. You want to blame people because this doesn't make sense, and the killer is still not caught. Well, I want you to know that I did everything in my power to make sure that my kids were safe. And that nanny, I trusted her with my life. So, feel whatever you want to feel, but I understand where you're coming from. The feelings that I'm feeling right now don't make sense to me either in a lot of ways. I don't know if it's morbid curiosity or just that I'm looking for some semblance of closure, but the police don't tell you really any information about the case. The news doesn't, they haven't even really picked up any information. What room did it happen in? It's the kitchen. Right over here. Does Joey know that? Yeah. When we said our goodbyes to each other, he asked me, ironically enough. So, it's a detail I guess he should know. It's his father. Well, I came here today because I know now you and I are done. We don't really have a reason to correspond anymore. I'm not one of those people who bond over grief. I wanted to thank you for letting me see my grandson towards the end there. You didn't have to, and you did. And I want you to know I'm eternally grateful for that, because at least I have those final memories. Well, I appreciate your gratitude, and I appreciate all the changes you made. I appreciate that you and I were able to be amicable at a point in time when it never felt that way. Like, it never felt like it could be that way. So, yeah, I appreciate you as well. But I do need to know, now that, you know, probably never going to see each other again. I mean, maybe in passing, who knows. Why'd you always hate me? I really always aimed to be a good person, and I really did try to take care of your son and try to be a good mother to your grandson. I always tried to do everything right, and I never tried to step on anyone's toes. I never tried to show you any initial disrespect in the family or anything in that realm. So why, during my marriage, throughout all those years, did you hate me so much? I hated you, and part of me still does. Sorry. I hated you because I had an image in my head of who I wanted my son to marry. And that girl in my head was very respectful to me. She looked up to me, asked me for advice, wanted me to show her how to be a family-oriented woman. And then you came into the family. You were so progressive. You were so headstrong in your ideals as a mother. You wanted everything to be your way. Respectfully, I guess, but I wasn't expecting someone to want to do her own holidays, to have photo shoots with just your family, and I was shocked by your confidence. And I guess, you reminded me of me way too much. And I don't like me. I hate me, actually. I wanted someone who was not like me. Someone a little naive and girly. Someone that I could just give the good parts of myself to. But you, yeah. I hated you. I did not want you to marry my son. I wanted you to get a divorce. And then when you did, I was disappointed in you because there I was getting a divorce all over again. Needless to say, a lot of the problems between you and I was my fault. I can admit that. You were hated for stupid reasons. But you were a damn good mother. And an even better wife. So you can take that away from our final interaction here today. I also heard that the night of Gabby's wedding, when you had your intuition that something bad was going to happen, that you were selfless in the sense that you wanted to protect my daughter. You thought something was going to happen with her again, and you went out of your way to try and go protect her. And I, on one hand, appreciate that more than you know. And I'm amazed by it, given where we first started in our relationship as daughter-in-law and mother-in-law. But you talk about resentment. I wish you had gone to check on Junior first. Out of all the nights, to not be obsessed with your grandson. Of all the nights to be selfless and try to help me and protect my daughter who's not even your blood. I don't know. I'll leave you with that. I hate that we have to go down this road again, but it's a constant fear of mine. Are you or are you not going to secretly move my daughter away? I'm really not looking to argue or raise my blood pressure right now. I think you could understand why in a time like this. You can dodge the question all you want, and I'm not looking... Contrary to popular belief, Miranda, I just want to get along with you. But my uncle told me that you were looking at open houses, which is a little concerning, because if my daughter's living full-time with you, I should know about these things. I shouldn't be hearing them secondhand from people. How would your uncle know anything that I'm doing? I mean, or just the way you worded that. You admit it. You are planning to do that, aren't you? I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying, like, how would he know? If he's telling you all this information, how would he know something like that? For you to trust him so willingly. You know how Serafina Town is, Miranda. It's a tight-knit community. Word travels about everyone, about everything. I was aware that the news isn't the same that it used to be 20 years ago. But I never knew an accredited source to be
well, everyone talks in town, so...
Forget about all that for a second, Miranda. Stop dodging the question. I'm trying to talk to you in a civil way, to where we don't have to argue or get angry. I'm talking to you as Charlotte's father. Are you or are you not looking at open houses?
Yeah, I was looking at open houses because I don't want to live in the house that my son was murdered in. Sorry.
I get that, and I'm not trying to be insensitive to that. I can't understand what you're going through, but I can be understanding. And I'm here for you. I'm always here if you want to talk about anything, but I need to know if I can safely give you my daughter back and not worry about you up and leaving because you're afraid or you want to do something in secret so that no one else can find you. I don't know. You know how the mind works in situations like these.
I find it so funny that you're accusing me of something like this when not too long ago you were in California and talking about Charlotte and how you wanted her full time and this and that. Like, I don't know.
Just hate that you're not answering me. What is it that concerns you? Because maybe I can help. Okay, is it the security? Are you worried about something happening to Charlotte? Talk to me, Miranda.
Brian, I'm going to be real with you for a second. This town, there's something going on in it. Something, I don't know, in New York, where the crime rate is always fluctuating. I never had my daughter kidnapped. I never had to worry about my kid's room being burglarized. This town is downright frightening at times, and I think that even you living in it with Charlotte, the custody days that you have, maybe you should consider also not living here.
Let's not pretend that New York is the land of Oz. Every place has their bad apples. Serafina Town is no exception. But compared to most places in this country, Serafina Town is great. I grew up here, and there's a lot of parts of it that you still have not seen. I don't mean to mansplain and deny what you're feeling right now, because I know after something happens to your child like that, I can only imagine the fears that are drumming around in your head. But you have to separate rational from irrational. The crime rate in this town, it's not... You got the bad end of the stick, Miranda.
If I was anyone, Brian, I wouldn't raise a family in this town at this point.
Alright, again, with all that aside, just answer my question, please. Are you, or are you not, planning on moving my daughter away from me to an extent where it would be hard for me to see her because of the distance? Please just be real with me. Even if you say yes, I'm not going to start arguing with you. I'm not going to get pissed off. We'll talk about it. Just give me a straight answer, please.
No. I wouldn't do that to you.
I've had to ask this question to more people than I really wish that I've had to this year. To people that I didn't expect to have to ask this question. But you're on that list now. Here's the question. Are you lying to me? Because I really just want you to be honest. I don't want us to have lies between us when we have our beautiful daughter to take care of and co-parent. We can do this the right way, Miranda. It doesn't have to be filled with drama. It doesn't have to be filled with back and forths and custody agreements and fears and worries. And when you co-parent, you should have 100% faith in the other parent and not have any doubts. So take away my doubts right now. Are you lying?
I'm not lying. I wouldn't do that to you.
Alright. I'm trusting you. Remember, we can do this the right way. We can co-parent on nice terms. and get along. And just because we're not together, we can raise a daughter in a happy way to where she can see two happy parents. And I know happiness is not something on your plate right now because of what you've been through, but you know what I mean. If I find out you're lying and you do something to where you're taking my daughter away from me, I've been agreeable up until this point. I don't want to have to go to custody court or any of that stuff that you did with Joey. But I will, if I have to. Because as horrible as it was, everything that just happened in our lives, bonding with my daughter has changed my life, and I never want to lose her. So let's co-parent, and let's make this work. Don't do something behind my back, and I won't do something behind yours.
Can I go now? I don't want to have this conversation. I don't want to work myself up. So can I go now?